Okay, so welcome back, guys. As you can see, we're chapter 7. We've figured out that Archibald has been a bit sus. So, my patience has grown thin. The guests and the staff of this house think it is acceptable to lie to my face when questioned and obstruct my investigation. But no more. We shall see how Monsieur Sterling and his staff fare under some pressure. I've been lied to for the last time. My suspicions initially led me to the guests, but now they are firmly placed on the staff. Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rahana cannot hide behind their lies any longer. I mean, her brother Luke was killed by the Major's stupidness. Can't understand Archibald, though. Maybe him and Rahana have a thing going on. Okay, so... Ernesto... If you guys want to read the close-up, just pause there. Right, there we go. Now we don't have that stupid thing up in the corner. Right, who are we going to go see? First floor hall. God, that's an evil look, Elizabeth.
Mademoiselle, what a pleasure to see you.
Detective,
It is a rather late hour to be wandering the halls.
Oh, yes, of course. I do not feel myself, Detective.
If that is the case, you should be resting. Allow me to help.
No, that's quite all right. I will see to my duties and return to bed.
Elizabeth, what you up to?
Lizzie, excuse me, Elizabeth. Lady Van den Bosch has been waiting for some time now.
Oh, yes, sorry. Detective Poirot was just...
I'll see to the detective. You just head on up. Off you go.
Good night, Detective.
Bonne nuit, mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth is certainly not herself. I thought the death of the Major had brought up uncomfortable memories of her beloved Luke, but it may be something else. Something is a bit sus.
I'm sorry about her, Detective. As you can see, she is still not back to her usual bubbly self.
This
Evidently.
weekend seems to have taken quite a toll on her.
She'll be right as rain in a couple of days. Now, what can I help you with?
As if by magic you appeared when needed. I would like to speak with you and the remaining staff. If you could gather them in the staff pantry.
At this hour, Detective? Is that really necessary?
I shall be the one that determines what is and what is not necessary, and this is very much the former.
As you wish, Detective. I'll see if Inge has finished preparing for breakfast.
And Mademoiselle Rihanna?
Yes, of course. I'll fetch her from the kitchen. Elizabeth may be some time with the lady of the house. Perhaps you'd like to start with us?
Very well. I shall speak with Mademoiselle Elizabeth when her duties are complete.
While I am gathering the staff, Mr. Beckers is in the library. If you wish to join him, I could bring you both a nightcap.
I wish to keep a clear head, but there is something I wish to discuss with Monsieur Beckers.
This is my opportunity to confront Monsieur Beckers about his dealings, or lack thereof, with Monsieur de Silva, without being disturbed. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Library. Wait, he did say library, didn't he?
Huh.
Oh, got achievement. Well read. You have examined all the books in the library. How did I not see that one before then?
Monsieur Beckers, it is rather late. The other guests have already retired to their rooms.
I didn't even see the time. It's easy to lose oneself in a library this impressive.
That is something we can agree on, monsieur.
I suppose I should be heading?
A moment, monsieur. There are some matters that we must discuss.
Oh, what is it, detective?
I was wondering, did your speech go the way you expected?
My speech? I'm not sure what speech.
You may save your false ramblings for your next audience. I am aware you spoke with the Major yesterday.
Whoever told you that has it wrong, detective.
Please, monsieur. The truth.
Okay, fine. Yes, the Major and I spoke, but it was not for long. I was trying to convince him to speak with Ernesto. It's time we brought the strikes to an end.
And that was best approached by a shouting match?
He wouldn't listen to a word I said. I spent so long preparing how I was going to convince him, but men like him are only swayed by one thing: money.
Monsieur Beckers is not wrong. Had he tried to grease the Major's palm, perhaps he would have been more successful. Very
It is
likely.
said that money is the root of all evil, but it can also be a rather powerful bargaining chip.
Well, he was bargaining with people's lives. If he had acted sooner, none of those men, my men, would have to die.
The Major oversaw security at the factories. Could he have done more to stop the strikes turning violent? Yeah, it says people that made him violent.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Her proposal to make you somewhat of a star, a figurehead for the working man, what would you call that?
There was certainly no talk of making me a star. That is not the type of man I am. She wanted to write a piece on my work with the union, and I was happy to oblige.
Monsieur Beckers has always appeared to have the worker intentions at the forefront of his decisions, but perhaps the thought of being remembered for something great was too much for him to pass up.
A deal? It was an insult.
And that is why you did not sign it?
I didn't sign it because the workers deserve so much more, not his pathetic attempts to get them back to work.
Did you think there was a chance for a better deal to be made?
I know there was. He's a pompous swine that cares for only himself and filling his pockets.
I'm sure I've heard that description of Monsieur de Silva before, at least something similar. Right, let's push.
Mademoiselle Conrad can be quite convincing, can she not?
She has certainly taken several wealthy business partners by surprise with her knowledge and prowess. She knows how to use her womanly powers to get what she wants.
But she did not surprise or use you?
Me? Used me? Don't be ridiculous, detective. There were no games played at my expense.
I can't place its accent because it doesn't sound French to me. Monsieur Beckers has quite a way with words and is a fan of his own voice. Perhaps I should allow him the opportunity to speak and open up without too much interruption and forcefulness. Suggestive.
Perhaps some,
Oh,
but I'm not so easily manipulated or simple-minded.
okay.
And I stand by that. It was an insult.
A rather bold move to make such a decision on your own.
Ooh, that's too accusing.
Everything that has happened is my doing.
You yourself spoke of Mademoiselle Conrad's cunning in business.
And I told you, I was not one of her targets.
Tell me then, what was it she reminded you of? The acclaimed man of the people you would be known as if you pushed the factory owners for more?
It wasn't like that at all.
From where I am standing, it was she that was manipulating the terms of the deal, and you in the process. You were merely her pawn.
I think you have let your imagination run away with you, detective. She merely offered some advice. What kind of union leader and fighter for equality and fairness would I be if I just did what someone told me to do?
Okay, let's try that again.
Mademoiselle Conrad can be quite
She has certainly taken several...
but she did not surprise.
Me? Used me?
Okay. So, we're gonna go curious this time.
No, she just reminded me of what I was fighting for.
Let's go, you would...
And I
What?
stand by that. It was an insult.
A rather bold move to make such a...
And... honest.
I may not be perfect, but I've done everything I can.
Your efforts fell short in every respect. You claim to be the voice of the people, but you care about no one's voice or benefits but your own.
It's not as easy as just signing a piece of paper, Detective. It is a heavy weight to bear on one's shoulders. I
Wrong
consulted
type of
with
word
others.
there. It's bear, but it's the wrong one.
You yourself spoke of Mademoiselle Conrad's cunning in business.
And I told you, I was not one of her targets.
Tell me then, what was it she reminded?
It wasn't like that.
From where I am standing, it was she that was manipulating. You were merely her pawn.
Okay, yes, I know. I shouldn't have listened to her. But what else could I do? Remain an unknown my whole life? I didn't mean for anyone to get hurt.
It may not have been your intention, but we both know the result. You rolled the dice with those men's lives for fame, and you lost.
Pardon my intrusion, but you are from a large family?
What does that have to do with anything?
I have often wondered about the competition siblings face in a large family.
When you're young, it is the best feeling to know you have family that will stand by you, without even being asked.
Yeah, right.
It is not until everyone starts carving their own path that you realize you're walking yours solo, and those that were beside you are now miles away. My older brothers were the athletes of the family. They both played soccer, and were the infatuation of every teenage girl. I'm sure you have seen the type.
Oui, monsieur, but I can assure you that was not I.
Then there was me. Quiet, timid, a shadow of the Becker brothers. My voice and very presence was forgotten and ignored. Nothing I could say or do would ever reach the bar they had set. But I always knew I was destined for great things. Years passed, and now that I no longer stood in the colossal ombre of my brothers, I could become my own man. When the position of union leader was posted, it was my chance to finally be heard. You hear politicians speak of the little or the common man? Well, that was me. And I knew what we wanted and what we needed. When I spoke, others listened. I held their gaze with a sense of pride, a sense that what I was doing was for the greater good. It was supposed to be my crowning achievement, lead the men to victory over the money-grabbing oppressors. But instead, all I did was lead them to their deaths.
Monsieur, it was not at your hands that these men died. The blame cannot lie solely on your shoulders. Those responsible will be punished for their crimes. That you must trust.
Monsieur Becker's story is one of fighting to have one's voice heard, be it single or one of the masses. I'm afraid he may be remembered for what he did, but not in the way he had hoped. Nope. Okay, so now we gotta go talk to the servants. Well, speaking with Monsieur Beckers was not the reason for me being up at this hour. He was able to fill in some of the blanks regarding the Major, but not in getting any closer to discovering his killer. Perhaps the staff living quarters will. But we haven't got access to that yet. We've got everybody gathered in the bloomin' pantry.
Ah,
You know, considering they're meant to keep the house clean, they're not doing a very good job of their own living quarters. And do not hold a candle as to what has transpired here this weekend. I'm glad I'm a guest of the house. I'm not sure how well I would sleep in such a contraption. I think it might be comfy, maybe. Doesn't seem to be anything of interest in here. Luggage. A war medal that I assume must belong to the Major. So what's it doing in the servants' quarters?
Oh,
Rather luxurious jacket. The initials read FH. Felix Hagen. Are these scruffy boots his as well? Why would they be here, though? The items I have found are most intriguing and require an explanation that I believe only the staff can give. I shall meet them in the pantry.
Detective,
Wait, I haven't finished looking.
what can we do for you?
you can help me by telling the truth, and in the process, help yourselves.
Sorry, Detective. It's a bit late in the night for riddles.
It is no riddle, monsieur. If I do not receive the truth, you shall all be charged as accessories to murder.
Detective, I think maybe you have been locked in this house for too long. We have already...
You have told me a version, and now I require honesty.
Okay, so what we got?
I must take a different
No?
approach if I am to...
Oh, well, those two usually link up with each other.
I must act on
No?
thought.
Okay.
This will not get me
No.
any closer to my goal.
Okay, so
The
Stage
pieces
on corn
of the puzzle
ice.
are finally coming to...
The theory that the Major had been killed during dinner was nothing but a ruse. Why are the staff covering for the real time of deaths? And
What a revelation!
the Major would not have left such a fine coat in the staff area. Someone must have worn it. More importantly, however, who wore the Major's clothes? Would you explain why Hugo thought he saw the Major outside? If they nabbed his coat. Alright, let's start with you, Archie.
Monsieur Sterling, is there anything you would like to add to your story?
I'm not sure what you think I have done, Detective.
Let us not string out this charade any longer.
Oh, you found it.
A medal?
Thank you, Detective. I've been looking everywhere for it.
If I had lost a war medal, I would not stop until I found it.
It's not what you think. I was...
Exploiting a dead man's military achievements for your own personal gain?
Maybe.
Nothing of the sort. He asked me to clean them up. I must have dropped it into my pocket when I was putting them back. An honest mistake.
Never have I heard such a pathetic excuse to explain a stolen item in one's possession. I would expect a better lie from an infant.
I wouldn't know. Probably.
Your father was in the military for many years. That is what you told me.
Yeah, because the Major wouldn't stop talking
He
to you about
was.
it.
And your family still keep his medals?
They were sold.
And why was that, monsieur?
Is my family on trial now, Detective?
Only you, monsieur. And I repeat my question.
Because we needed money.
Voila.
Monsieur Sterling was well aware of the medal's value when it found its way into his belongings.
No, he keeps them safe with some of his old military documentation.
Is that a typical job for the head butler?
He trusts me to do a good job. I told him I used to clean my father's, so he asked me to do the same.
And where does he keep these items?
In the storage room. I know where everything is, so it's just easier if I fetch them for him as and when he needs them.
Do not recall seeing any military memorabilia or keepsakes when I was in the storage room. Could there be another storage room he speaks of?
From his associate. I've already told you, Detective. I don't know who it was.
Do not worry yourself on such details now. I suppose they were lucky to have called when they did. Otherwise, they may not have gotten through at all, with the telephone lines being down as of yesterday.
Aye, Detective. Lucky, I guess.
Uh-huh. You're still lying, bro. Ah.
Whiskey?
You took a bottle of whiskey to the Major. You spoke with Monsieur Demire en route.
Of course,
Aye,
Monsieur
of
Demir
course.
remembers.
It was a bottle he picked up from his last visit to Scotland. Rather smoky number from the Highlands. He was saving it for a worthy occasion. Drowning his sorrows must have been fitting enough.
First, he does not remember a bottle at all, and as if by magic he recalls the exact details. To be fair, I've been like that, mind.
Or was it the one from the West Coast? You'll have to excuse my memory, Detective. It's not what it used to be.
Now you're muddying the waters.
It's certainly better than my last.
You are paid a fitting wage for the work that is asked of you.
I'm sure the lady of the house would not want me discussing it. But I should not complain.
That is not the most convincing answer, monsieur.
Between you and I, we all work very hard here. And it would be nice if we were rewarded for it.
It seems Monsieur Sterling is trying to convince me, as he has himself, that his light-fingered actions are justifiable due to the petty wage he receives for his honest work.
Please don't go anywhere. If I require more information, I shall call on you again. Mademoiselle, I shall keep my questions brief.
I don't know what else I can tell you.
You have been honest with me so far. All I request is that you continue to do so.
Oui, Detective.
Get down. I am already aware of Mademoiselle's involvement with the blackmail, but I am not sure if she is also connected to the Major's murder.
It was frantic in the pantry. We were working hard to make sure everything was up to scratch.
Go on.
Then Liz burst in, asking for Mamore's help.
Her help with what, exactly?
I don't know. She took Liz to one side, and I was needed in the salon. We spoke just after that in the pantry.
You did not question what she needed help with?
I was too busy. I love Liz, but she sheds a tear at almost everything these days. Although, I have never seen her look so pale.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth did look pale when I saw her earlier. I understand the amount of work that goes into keeping a house of this size running, but Madame cannot expect the staff to work if they are ill. Perhaps Mademoiselle Rehana can clear up the reason for Elizabeth's panic.
Merci. I shall return if I have any further questions.
Rehana!
Mademoiselle, I shall be as quick and precise with my questioning as possible.
Okay. What do you need?
My condolences on your brother.
Merci. He was a good man. Taken too early.
Forgive me, mademoiselle, for not extending them earlier, but I was not aware of your relationship.
He was my only brother. And he died doing what he believed was right. If I ever get my hands on who took him from me.
I believe you already have. I understand why she is so angry for her brother to be taken from his world at such a young age and in such a violent manner. Violence cannot be met with violence, but I am not sure Mademoiselle feels the same.
You say the riots, but it was the strike he was part of. They started the riots, not the workers.
By they, you are referring to the security forces. They were brought in to keep the peace.
Security, huh? They were brought in to make an example of them. It was all peaceful until they arrived.
Why would they need to make an example?
So that the workers would stop rallying. No one is going to go on strike if they think they'll get killed. The security you talk of were armed and ready. The workers were pigs to the slaughter. What chance did they have?
It is obvious Mademoiselle is still upset about her brother's death, and rightly so. The events were as Mademoiselle describes. I cannot comprehend how the security forces were able to get away with such despicable acts of violence.
Yes.
This was before or
Straight.
after Archibald took him a bottle of whiskey.
Before.
You are sure?
It may have been after.
The whiskey is kept in the cellar with all the alcohol.
It is.
Then you must have noticed him going into the cellar and returning with a bottle through the pantry, no?
Yes, I suppose I did. It must have been before then.
It took only one question from Mademoiselle to doubt her own story. What I still cannot see is why the need for the lies.
What is there to say? Being locked away in the pantry, I don't see her for most of the day.
That may be. But she came looking for your help before dinner was served, did she not?
She wasn't feeling well, that's all.
And she came to you.
I told you, we are a family here. The girls come to Mama Reh if they have a problem, and I fix it.
When I saw her earlier, I must admit she was not looking herself. Perhaps I should check on her.
No, just leave the poor girl. She'll be fine after another bowl of my homemade soup. She just needs her rest.
Jean Mademoiselle Rahana is a loving mother figure to the staff while away from their families, but her eagerness to keep me from seeing Mademoiselle Elizabeth again does not sit comfortably.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Doesn't.
That is all for now.
I'm guessing pregnancy for Elizabeth. Pays the staff very little.
Order and method. That is the... I cannot see the logic in this. Come, my little grey cells. Another success. Some would say a lucky guess.
Should have known at first glance these belonged to a member of the staff, but who?
Things are beginning to be...
Because he died sooner than everyone thought.
Is there something I am not seeing? Is there something I am not...
No?
I cannot see the logic in this.
Oh, poop. I did that.
Magnifique.
Maybe they're covering for Elizabeth.
I should not be surprised by my... The pieces of the puzzle are finally come.
It's a revelation I had not expected. The staff were involved in the murder. But we've guessed that right from the beginning. While young Inga is guilty of her own crimes associated with the blackmail, is Monsieur Stelling and Mademoiselle Rahana that have been an integral part in covering up and obscuring the truth of how the Major was killed. Okay. Staff were already suspicious to begin with, but this confirms their involvement. Are all the staff members involved? Oh, we've already got 3 links. Alrighty tighty then. That one and that one.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover.
Oh my goodness me.
Another success.
That one, that.
I must act on. This will not get me any closer. What a revelation!
Confident Inga isn't part of the cover-up that's clearly been a focus for the other staff. Okay, we're getting somewhere. That and that.
Order and method. That. Come, my little grey cells.
I'm gonna keep clicking on everything.
I cannot see the logic in this. Magnifique.
And the other members of staff were busy with their duties. She must have found the body.
Some would say a lucky guess.
So Rahana
I
would have
would say
sent
a
up
moment
Inga.
of genius.
Although her duties are primarily focused in the kitchen and pantry, I don't recall seeing her. Yeah, we didn't see her.
This will not get me any closer to my... Things are beginning to be...
Ah, so she could do that. Because she's a bigger lady, so she can mimic.
I must take a different approach if I am to...
Yeah, shushi.
I should not be surprised by my... Is there something I...
No? Oh.
Come, my little grace.
I'm going to click on everything at this point.
Another success.
He went to great lengths to protect Elizabeth, but why did he feel the need to cover for her? While young Inga is guilty of her own crimes... Now I have all the pieces of the puzzle. I must return to my room and place them together. We like Elizabeth too. Okay. What have we got here?
Order and method.
I mean, obviously.
That is the way to solve the problem.
Okay, Okay. So we know those two.
Things are beginning to become...
They're both covering Elizabeth. I cannot believe I did not see it, blinded by my own trust. When I look back now, the clues were there, staring me in the face. Spend my time chasing connections between the guests, their motives and agendas, were more than enough to raise suspicion. but while distracted by them, I failed to notice the one absent member of the household. Oh, please, I noticed! What I still could not grasp is why. I promised myself that after that fateful day in the capital, I would not let my judgment steer me adrift. But once again, it is I left looking like the fool. There is nothing more that can be done tonight. I must try to rest my head in preparation for confronting Mademoiselle Elizabeth in the morning. Right, guys, I just had it pop up saying that this is the end of the chapter, so we're going to leave it here. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have, hit that like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, thanks for watching. And we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.